It's now about 2 days from when we've set up our initial 3 campaigns in media traffic, almost exactly 48 hours from the initial setup. I've been monitoring the campaigns and seeing what's been happening, looking at our traffic levels. I've made a few adjustments in the past 2 days, and I was going to go through what I've done and how we can optimize our traffic at this point. We'll do a further follow-up in 5 to 7 days from now, once the campaigns have run for about a week, to see where they're at. So right now, let's take a look at our campaigns. This is right after logging in, the account summary, as you can see. So today we can see already, and I've had a few other campaigns running as well, but it's nice on this page. Today it tells us already 233 impressions at a cost of not quite $4.70. My account funding, you can see, is at $31, and it even gives you a daily average spend, and I believe this is from when I first set up the account, which was over a year ago now. It looks at total spending divided by how many days. So let's go in and look at our results thus far. You can go there in two ways. You can either click here by more detailed reports, or you can go down to reports here, detailed reports, brings you to the same place. So let's go in there. You can, in your reports, set up a specific period that you want to be looking at, today, yesterday, through the month. You can set up a specific month within the past year, or you can set up a range. So let's set up a range. We set up these campaigns 2 days ago. So they pop up a calendar here. So we're going to go from the 15th of July is when it is to today is the 17th of July, and we hit apply. All right, so we see now our 3 campaigns were this home selling secrets, the traveling checklist, and the free email series. So in the 2 days or 48 hours we've been running, we've had 237 views from the home selling secrets, 215 from the traveling checklist, and 83 from the free email series. This column here, ROI, is their way of saying if there have been any leads, any opt-ins on the capture page. So we do see we've got 1 for the traveling checklist and 1 for the email series. And it also tells us what our spend has been in the 2 days. So let's look at the first one here, home selling secrets. These break down just which countries if you're running more than one country, but we're only running the United States, so we don't have to worry about that. Destinations is your capture page, URLs, and we only have 1, so we don't have to worry about that. This is by date, and this is by target, which is our 25 URLs that we gathered through Google or scrapers or other search methods and put them in. So let's click on targets we want to see there. Okay, so you can see from in the last 2 days, we have got, looks like about 8 different URLs that have had traffic. It tells you how many views and what that has cost us. And so the most views has gone to Zillow.com, which I thought it would because it's a very popular website, and fewer views to the other ones. This is 8, so we had, I believe, 26 for this campaign, so that will leave 18 URLs haven't had any traffic. And that's often the case with the long tail URLs. They will not get very much traffic unless they're on an extremely popular website. Most traffic will go to root domain URLs, just like what we're seeing here, Zillow, Redfin, down through appraisal.com. So let's, one thing I want you to take a note here is this Zillow at 143 views with 0 ROI or 0 leads from that. So the rest, well, we can look at this, okay. It is what it is, that's our results. So you can go back to the reports page by clicking on campaigns. We'll take a look at the other ones. Traveling checklist. Okay, we've had 217 views at a cost of $3.52 with 1 lead. So let's go to our targets there and take a look. Okay. So here we see Most of our traffic has come from TripAdvisor.com and Travelocity.com. And we did see actually one lead come in from TripAdvisor, which is great. The other URLs have given us only marginal traffic, and the other 20 URLs that aren't showing up here, 19, they haven't given us any traffic yet. So again, take note, TripAdvisor here with 123 views and one lead. I'm going to refer back to these in just a second. Let's look at our final campaign, which was our free email series, and let's take a look there. All right, here, so most of our traffic here has been a website, constantcontact.com, with 62 views, and the others have just a few. Our lead came from a website called streamsend.com. Okay. Now, one thing I want to talk about for both the Home Selling Secrets campaign and the traveling checklist. Home Selling Secrets, there was that URL, which is Zillow.com, with 143 views. And Traveling Checklist, Travelocity had the most, about 123 views. There's a point where you will be at the sweet spot in your campaigns for what you're willing to pay for one lead. And you'll have to figure that out. It'll depend on what your product is that you're selling, the conversion rate to what people are buying, and I guess your profit as well. And so in my previous campaigns, I was often targeting for about $1 per lead, which oftentimes came to around, my cutoff point would be if I had 100 views or 100 impressions for a URL with no leads from that URL wasn't producing. And so I would cut it off. I would either pause it or disable it or archive it or something. I didn't want to drive traffic to that URL any longer because it wasn't giving me the results that I need. So in our Home Selling Secrets, we saw Zillow.com had 123, I believe, impressions. Whereas here, Travelocity had, Zillow had 100 and, I forget. 50 or whatever it was. We can check here quick. 143. Very good. Travelocity had 123 with one lead. Let's go in and let's edit our campaigns. That's Zillow.com at 143 impressions. That's not producing. So I've already gone in, and it was actually, in fact, I believe only about 3 hours after I started this campaign, 3-4 hours, I checked on it, and I had that many impressions already, and I knew at that point that website wasn't targeted enough. And so what I did is I turned it off. I deactivated that URL. So I've now hit Edit Existing Campaigns. I've selected our Home Selling Secrets, and when you scroll down into our destinations, that is for our URLs, I hit Edit. So this shows us all of our URLs. This doesn't show us the impressions, but when we were looking at reporting, that's where we saw how many impressions. So we can see here, right at the bottom, Zillow.com inactive. I shut that one down after, like I said, about 3 or 4 hours because I could see we had 140 impressions. It had eaten up about $2.50 with not one lead. So at that point, it was cut off. That's not producing, and shut it right down. The other ones, I'm letting run at this point still. We can see that we are still top bidder for where there is any competition, because if we were being overbid, our current cost per view would be in red, but we are still the higher bidder here, we're the higher bidder here, and we were tied for the highest bidder for Zillow. That doesn't matter anymore because it is, as it shows here, inactive. Okay, so let's go to the traveling checklist. Now, Traveling Checklist had Travelocity with 123 impressions, but one lead. So the way I look at that is, that's good, we got a lead, but that's getting marginal. If those impressions continue to increase without any further leads, I will probably turn off Travelocity.com as well. We can actually see here, TripAdvisor, we've been overbid. Someone else is bidding 1.52 cents and our bid was 1.51. what's going to happen then is, because we are being overbid, the other bidder is going to get most of the traffic. So we're going to get very little traffic to that website because we are the lower bid. All the others were still the high bid, which is fine. So we're going to get whatever traffic's available for the website. So we're going to get that. So as I said, Travelocity.com, I still have it active. I'm going to be monitoring how many impressions that URL is getting. Because if I hit, say, 200 impressions and still only the one lead, I'm going to deactivate it. I'm going to make it inactive because it isn't producing enough. It's going to be too expensive for a lead to be profitable in my campaign. Same thing for TripAdvisor. We don't have any leads for TripAdvisor yet, and we're up to, I believe, 80 impressions. And so I'm watching that one. For the time being, let's get some more impressions from there. So what I can do is either I can manually enter my bid in this column here, the new cost per view, or if there was a number of, well, let's do it that way. Right now I'm going to just bid 1/100th of a cent higher to 1.52 cents, hit save changes. I'm now the high bidder, and hit finish. And we'll take a quick look at the free email series. We did have one lead here from streamsend.com. And we can see on this one, we've actually been overbid on a number of URLs. So we will not be receiving traffic, or if we do, it'll be very marginal to those URLs. These others that are black, we are either tied for the top bidder or we are still the top bidder. I'm just looking through them briefly, and it looks like we are still top bidder on all those except for Aweber, Constant Contact, Empower Network, and Get Response. So if you had quite a large list of URLs, instead of manually entering a higher bid for each one, you can go up to the top again, hit overbid. That then changes. You can see now this is going to be our new cost per view, and it'll be 6 cents and 11/100th. However you say that, 6.11 cents. Here will be 3.05 and so on. We will be the high bidder on those. So let's try that. We're going to see. It's just a test. Okay, it's warning us that we've got a little bit high bids over there. And so we're going to leave that. And I'm going to continue monitoring these campaigns over the next week. And in the end, we'll do some final reports and see where we're at. Once again, when we're done, we'll hit finish. And we're back to managing campaigns.